Howdy, y'all. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about me changing out bikes. I went from the Burgman 650 Suzuki Burgman to this 900 Vulcan Kawasaki Classic LT. And I'm going to talk not about specs or comparison mechanically, etc. on the bike, but more what I gave up to go to this bike and what I gained. So it's more of a personal thing, but while it's a personal thing, it certainly will probably be applicable to other people considering either a maxi scooter or a cruiser, and undecided which one they want. So with that said, let's hit the road, Jack. Now, obviously, first off, can't do that on a scooter. I'm leaving Walmart, my favorite little parking spot at Walmart. It's 11:12, and that stays nice and shady. Parking up there where they do the grocery carts. So, I guess there might be some thinking that going to the cruiser is a huge, big, better thing than riding a scooter. Well, they would be wrong. Am I glad I made the choice? Yes, I am. But I did give up some things with the scooter. And before I made the change, if you had asked me what I thought I was giving up, the number one thing wouldn't be what it really ended up being. And that is the storage under the seat. I knew I enjoyed that, but I never knew how much until I didn't have it. It's a minus to riding this bike for two reasons. Number one, that storage space is a lot of space. I mean, I've got motor vlogs that I did where I, put a large pizza, just sat it right in there. No angling, no nothing. And number two, and probably the most important thing to me, is it was secure. To open it, you had to put your key in the ignition, push down, and turn clockwise, and that would pop it open. So when you shut it, it was locked, and that was a pretty cool thing, and I gave that up. Space-wise, I've got the saddlebags, and they work fine. I just picked up a few things at Walmart, a bottle of wine and a couple other things, and that's fine. Not having a car, I can live with just the saddlebags for picking up groceries and stuff like that, and about once or twice a month I'll go to a store with my brother or sister. But enough on that. What else did I give up? Well, I had put a Clearview aftermarket windshield on the Burgman, and I never realized how effective it was until I tried to do a video riding on this thing. And where I live, the very first road you have to take is a highway, and the speed limit's 75. So the wind in my helmet, not quite, but pretty close to the same sound you would get on a aircraft carrier flight deck at a busy time. So right now I'm just doing between 35 and 40. Okay, speed limit's 40, so I'll do 40, and we'll see how that works. But that actually, not having the wind buffering, is a two-sided sword, knife, whatever, because I did notice this summer I didn't get quite as hot as I did last summer on the Burgman. And of course that I didn't have the wind funnel around blowing all over on me, buffering all over on me, that I do on this bike. So this bike does keep a little bit cooler, but I know in the winter I'm going to miss the fairings and the big windshield and everything else. Riding down the highway at 75 miles an hour to get anywhere from my house, I know already, legs and everything else, I'm gonna feel the cold a lot more than I would on the Burgman. Shifting, the Burgman's automatic. Well, this is a 5-speed, and I'm gonna say that really is not a minus on having this bike, because probably 60 or 70% of the time I'm really enjoying shifting. I mean, I'm enjoying I guess that overall control of having the cruiser versus the automatic transmission on the Burgman. But that other 30 or 40% of the time of just going around the city and having automatic transmission, not shifting, that was pretty cool too. But for right now, I'm going to say I like the shifting. You know, as long as I don't get arthritis in my hands or anything like that, I'm going to put it in the plus column for owning the bike over the Burgman. Style. Yeah, you know, motorcycles, cruisers, Vulcan versus Burgman 650. Yeah, I gotta put style in the Vulcan column. You know, it's just nicer. The ride. Now this is interesting. When I first got the Burgman, I knew right away that there was a distinct difference in ride on the Burgman, on the scooter, probably with any scooter, versus on a motorcycle. Turning, curves, going over bumps, little idiosyncrasies in the road, handling graded roads and things like that. Yeah, that's a big plus in the Vulcan side. You're riding now in the motorcycle, Vulcan cruiser side versus scooter, Burgman 650, whatever. When I'm riding down the highway at highway speeds, or in the city, but you know, it's even more noticeable on the highway when you're really a little more leery of obstacles in the road or damaged roads and things like that. This thing hits the bumps, absorbs them considerably better than the Burgman. And if I notice that from the Burgman, I guess you'd have to say just about any scooter, because you know, what scooters are better than the Burgman, you know what I mean? So yeah, overall ride, quality of ride, I'm hesitant to say comfort, because the Burgman is very comfortable, but as far as, you know, on a completely smooth ride, it's pretty close. But the minute you have a normal road, I got to give it to the motorcycle. I mean, no doubt. And as long as I'm talking about that, I'm going to repeat myself a little bit, but it's worth emphasizing. There is a difference between the ride of a scooter, even a maxi scooter, and a motorcycle. It might have to do with tire size, suspension, aerodynamics, I have no idea. But it's really two classes of rides. I mean, it's almost like saying those three-wheel spiders to a motorcycle, trikes to motorcycle. I feel that it's that distinctive between riding a scooter and riding a cruiser. So that's enough, enough said. Now, there's a stigma sort of riding a scooter. I mean, overall motorcycles, whether they want to admit it or not, yeah, it's a little different. I've met plenty of motor vloggers on YouTube that appreciate what a maxi scooter is, and don't put their noses up at them and stuff like that, and that's a good thing. But overall, a motorcyclist feels a certain separation from a scooterist, and it's just a fact. It's just the way it is, and that's not going to change. Now, I got one more thing, and unless something pops in my head, I'm going to say this is it as far as that goes. How would I put this? I guess the way to put it is, when I was on a scooter, on the maxi scooter, on the Burgman 650, whether I was riding down the road and stopped somewhere, I was in a group ride, or I was coming out of a convenience store or Walmart or whatever, more often than not, I was stopped by somebody. What the heck are you riding? What is that? And then you start talking, and then they start asking questions, and for some people, that little bit of recognition might be something they enjoy. And I'm not saying I never enjoyed it, but for me personally, not so much. I didn't mind telling people about the bike and all that, but after the first time that I got on the bike and went to 7-Eleven, picked up a pint of Haagen-Dazs or Ben & Jerry's ice cream because I really was in the mood for some ice cream. Popped in the seat, went to get on the bike, and next thing somebody's asking me about the bike, or excuse me, let me just say scooter, on the Burgman 650, and that conversation turned in lengthy, and by the time I got home, opened up the container of ice cream, and it's just a liquid form of gobbledygook, blah, 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 it just, yeah, I knew right then that the recognition, or I know there's better words for it, whatever, being in the limelight, you're riding a Burgman 650, and people want to know what it is, and you're excited, and I always was excited, you're excited about telling them how it performs and all that. Well, I can get on this bike, which, this type of bike, they're a dime a dozen, they're just all over the place, and it's nothing special. It is to me, but it's nothing special as far as the public's eye goes. It's just a motorcycle. I can get on this bike and go somewhere, and the most I'll get is somebody walking by and they say, "Nice bike," and I go, "Thank you," and we're done. And I like that. Alright, well, anyways, I'm going to wrap it up because right now I'm in a 45 mile an hour zone, and I'm just going to do a little testing on the wind. I put a little fuzzy wrapper on this, and I want to see how a little fuzzy cover that I cut out of the stuffed animal, I want to see how it works. So I'm going to say goodbye.